What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another COD Mobile video. So today, I think we're actually covering the final buff video for the season. And this one, of course, is going to go to the Rus 79U. This weapon in particular has suffered a lot of neglect over the years. It hasn't really been a weapon that has been touched for a long time. Before this buff, I can't even remember the last time it received any changes. The last thing that I could remember that changed about this weapon is that it got a signature attachment, which was like a flashlight that didn't really do anything. And also, I think there was a time where like the RUS was kind of meta for a tiny bit of time, and then they nerfed like the ADS bullet spread, and it was just no longer meta. But other than that, I haven't really seen a lot of changes with this weapon, but this is something that I was kind of begging COD Mobile to do for a while because, again, I mean, most SMGs before this update were able to just easily dominate this one. And you would think after all the legendaries that had been kind of sold, even post nerf, like the Snoop Dogg skins, either the Christmas or just the regular Snoop Dogg collaboration skin, you would think at some point they would at least try to make the weapon a little bit better, at least if it's in the name of making more sales. And that's just something that they never did. I was also hoping that once the mystical lamp and the secret cache came out, maybe they would have a buff for it. And even then, they never improved it. And I was actually starting to get worried that, honestly, that they were never going to work on this weapon. Maybe they thought for some reason it was in a good place when really it wasn't. And I'll get into that main issue right now. But yeah, I thought it was just never going to get improved. I understand that there are new weapons out there every month for this game. I get that, but never don't really leave the older weapons behind either. And this is something that not even like the normal Call of Duty games did, where like let's say, we get a new COD game and they update it for Warzone, they kind of just leave the older weapons from the previous COD behind. At least for the most part. I know there's a lot of weapons that have been here since launch that have improved greatly, such as the Type 25. We have weapons like that. And yeah, it's nice that they do changes for that every now and then, but with most of them, they really don't. And at least to me, sometimes the improvements that they do aren't enough, or at least it's enough to make their camo challenges a little bit more bearable. But it will never be enough to the point where it has some sort of competitive advantage. I mean, sometimes. We had the Shikon buff. I mean, they kind of proved me wrong with that and the Type 25 as well as this one. So it looks like they're kind of changing their ways. Maybe this was just a one-off thing, but you have to admit this is probably the best patch notes that we've received in a very long time. And I see a lot more variety these days. So what was wrong with the Rus 79U? What was the reason why it needed a buff after so long? Well, it's pretty simple. It just had very shitty range. Yes, it had 4-tap capability within the first range, but again, that didn't really extend that far, at least not far enough. And also there was, I think, a chance to get a 4-shot kill within the second range, but even then, it never really amounted to anything. And it was usually going to be a 5-shot kill. And then, after that, it just became a 6 to 7-shot kill, and it just really wasn't effective. So basically what they did was that they changed the profile from the second range up to 25. It used to be 24. So this basically just made it a completely consistent 4-shot kill up to 30 meters if you do decide to max out the range. That's a lot of 4-tap power, especially at that type of range for an SMG. At least with the fire rate that it does have, it is very good. Does it make it meta? Fuck no. But hey, it's a change nonetheless, and it's a lot more consistent because of that one simple change. And this is what I was saying for like the past few weeks, where there are some weapons in this game that just need one little push to end up becoming a complete monster. And I'm right about that because look at the Shikon. They buffed the damage within the second range by 1 point, and it now could 3-shot up to like 25 meters. That's incredible. And here they basically did the same thing. They just upped the damage by 1, and now it could consistently 4-shot up to 30 meters, where before it only went up to like maybe 10 at most. And keep in mind, there are other weapons out there that kind of require that same type of push, where they might need to change like one little thing in order for the weapon to be significantly better. And I'm glad that COD Mobile is actually taking the time to look back at older weapons and see what needs to be changed. And you could say that the only reason why they did this was because of the mystical lamp. And I could understand that, but Basically, at this point, whatever it took to get a buff, I'm game, honestly. A change like this would definitely convince a lot of players to use it because before, I'm pretty sure that most people that got this skin, they probably used it once. Or maybe if they unlocked it, maybe they never got gold for the weapon, so they probably used that while they're grinding for gold. But other than that, if this buff didn't happen, it would just I guess it would just be there collecting dust, to be honest. And I know this is going to be kind of like a controversial take, but honestly, I think the mystical lamp could have been like a minor legendary. I don't really see it being a major legendary. I don't know. But hey, we have it. It's whatever, you know. The buff is here, and hopefully it stays that way, and they don't nerf anything. I mean, I can't really imagine one person like begging for an RUS nerf right now, given that there's way more better weapons like the USS 9. So yeah, happy that the change is out. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Have you guys used the weapon? Have you guys not? And anyways, I'll see you guys next time.